Okay, so it's not a secret that in my family, the women in my family have problems with PCOS. I'm one of them. Mom and my sister both have problems. I have 2 of the 3 symptoms, one of them being the extra amount of facial hair. So today I said something to Mom about how I bought my sister the same trimmer that I used to take care of this on, like, between waxing, and so she mentioned something today as I was getting ready to leave the house, like, hey, speaking of trimmers, like, you need to use yours. And I was just like, okay, I'm growing it out so I can wax it, and so I don't have to shave it every day. But also, how is she allowed to say that directly to me? But I've never once heard her say anything to my sister about, like, oh, you have hair on your face. Is she just extra sensitive because, like, facial hair is, like, a manly thing? Okay, so, take back manly thing. But, and excuse me for not using completely correct terminology. But people who have facial hair typically identify as a more masculine gender. Anyway, so I am a gay woman, and I am out to her. So anything that can be perceived as masculine or gay or edgy, she is oversensitive to. So that being said, am I targeted as not targeted? Does she pay more attention to the extra amount of hair on me more than my sister because I do identify as a lesbian woman? Thoughts? Yeah. Continuing on with that. Several years ago, I got a cartilage piercing because I thought it was cool. And it took her a month to notice. And I had it for about a year and a half, and eventually it grew in because it didn't heal right. But then later on, she asked me, hey, is your cartilage piercing something that has to do with your sexuality? No. I got it because I thought it would look cool having a cartilage piercing. She freaked out when I shaved the side of my head. It's kind of an edgy haircut. I just shaved the back of my head a few weeks ago. She saw it for the first time this weekend. Well, she couldn't have not seen it, but she didn't say a word about it. So that's at least a step in the right direction, that she didn't say anything. Or she's just bottling it up inside and judging me internally. Also an option. Well, yeah. So I don't really know exactly where I was going with all this, but mostly just things dealing with PCOS, which it sucks. Like, I got tested and I don't have, like, an extra amount of testosterone. It is what it is. I'm gonna have this for the rest of my life unless I get it lasered off, which is A, expensive, and B, painful. So I'd rather just go get it waxed every couple weeks and deal with a little bit of this in between. And also, for her to say that directly to my face when that's something that I'm pretty sensitive about was hella rude. And it took me like 6 hours to realize that I was offended by that. Yeah, so the point being of all of these is, I don't know. There's not really a point. Yeah, the point is, you do you. It bothers me that she said something about my, the hair on my face, but I know that I have a plan to get rid of it, and eventually I probably will get it lasered, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep waxing it. And going back to, like, the shaving the side of my head and shaving the back of my head, I really couldn't care. It's my hair, and it's not going to affect my workplace any, which is really the only reason why I wouldn't want to do something that affects my physical appearance somewhat permanently, like hair grows back. But it does take a while to grow back shaved hair. I went through a very long, awkward phase with that. And then, what was the other thing I talked about? I don't remember. But yeah, do you. Like, if you have super religious, judgy parents, obviously do what's safe for you, but also live your life and do the things that you want to do. Oh, the cartilage piercing. Yeah, do what you want to do, honey. This even translates into things such as tattoos, which are actually permanent unless you're going to get them, again, lasered off. That's not going to happen. This is too beautiful. But growing up in a super duper religious Catholic household, pretty sheltered. Very, very sheltered. They will be upset for a little bit, but eventually they will get over it. Like, I have no problems walking around the house, showing this off, or my other one. I know when my mom sees it, she doesn't like it, probably, but do I really care? No, because if she's going to struggle in her mind with the decisions that I've made with my body as an adult, then there's nothing I can do about that. That's on her. If she struggles, then I can't fix that. That's just something she's just going to have to cope with. And that goes for things like this, and this, and this, and this. So do your life. Do your life. Live your life, not the life that your parents lived. Do something that you want to do. Just because they might not like it doesn't mean that it's not socially acceptable or acceptable in the workplace, which is really what most of the struggle usually comes from. Your parents want you to be successful, and in their eyes, having weird hair and being gay and having tattoos somehow makes you less marketable in the workplace. So, but that's not really how things are in most fields in 2020. So it's not as big of a deal as you would think it is. And I myself am just now coming to terms with this as a 26-year-old woman who has only had a few jobs and has moved around a few times. You just have to do what you want. You can't do what your parents expect you to do your whole life. And with that, I'm going to be done because this is like 8 minutes long.